today's video, let's have a quick look at DENT coin distribution of wallets and tokenomics at a high level view. And then let's have a look at what's the supply myth and what's the tokenomics behind it and why DENT needs 100 billion supply. So those are the highlights, and then I will probably cover some bits on the SpaceX moving into moving vehicles. So that's a pretty good news that's coming up. Like SpaceX, initially they had the Starlink dish antennas. Basically you provision it in your house and then you get broadband access. So now that's a stationary one, but now they want to bring their satellite internet connectivity to moving vehicles as well. So that's a very big update recently from Elon Musk. So that's a pretty interesting news actually. So I would probably cover that as well. And still DENT looks bullish from the charts, and the price is pretty much going sideways at the moment. So let's see how it still has the potential for 100x in 2021. So that's the bit. And then let's have a quick look at how the tokenomics looks. So since the last update, people who have been watching, they know that the number of tokens in the exchanges has increased significantly. So previously in my previous videos, you might have seen that this number was around 45 billion. But right now there are more traders in the exchange, because the reason is you have more token holders joining, buying the tokens, and they leave it in the exchange itself. So you can see the token holders. Previous videos you might have seen we were close to 37,000 token holders, and right now we are seeing nearly 5,600 new token holders in probably a span of 1 month time. So that sounds like a very good positive renewed interest among the crypto community at the moment, and that's the reason now we are seeing close to 5 billion in increase of the tokens in the Binance exchange alone, Binance and other exchanges in total. So right now 50% of the token supply is in the hands of the traders. So that's pretty good actually. So compared to most of the other cryptocurrencies and other tokens, if you look at them, the team holds a considerable amount of it. But whereas with DENT, the team doesn't hold much at the moment. So they probably have close to 8.6 billion tokens, which is just 8% of the supply they have. And the remaining most of the supply is held in the app, which is close to 11 billion is held in the app. And then the community is holding close to 31 billion tokens, which is pretty good, solid, no? And right now you can see how the tokenomics looks for yourself. So now the reason most of the traders, they leave the token in the exchanges is because the ETH gas fee is insane. Some exchanges, they charge up to 30,000 DENT tokens for withdrawing the tokens from the exchange. So that is pretty bad, I would say. So most of the traders, people who have newly bought the DENT tokens, they are leaving it in the exchange. As we can see it from the increase of 5 billion new tokens in the exchanges. So that's pretty sad, but we have to wait for the ETH EIP 599 protocol. So that's being launched in June. So after which the ETH gas price will be going down considerably after probably June, July 2021. So let's hold fire for the next 3 to 4 months and see how the gas price comes down. And I would probably strongly suggest most of my YouTube watchers to keep the tokens away from the exchanges, just because it's better to hold it in your hands. Self-custody is much better than trusting a third-party exchange, because historically there's been lots of hacks in the exchanges. So let's be vigilant there. So yeah, you can see the tokenomics, how it looks, and the current price looks pretty good at the moment. So previous video it was around 0166. At the moment it's staying pretty much around 0022. So if you look at the monthly charts, it's been pretty good, I would say. It's going sideways, and the volume is pretty huge. You can see for yourself, and the volume is roughly around 17 million compared to previous day. It's down by 10%, and the market cap is well above 200 million. There's lots of room for growth for DENT as we stand now, and the token ranking is staying around 156 as we speak now, and that's pretty positive signs showing up for DENT, I would say. And on the daily charts on Binance, it's showing a lot of bullish signs both in hourly and daily charts. So as you can see for yourselves, this is the daily chart. The daily chart looks pretty awesome. It's pretty lots of green candles you're able to see on the daily ones. And if we look at the hourly ones, that's past 4 days, it's been pretty upward turn because BTC has been on the upward trend. So it's the whole general market is peaking momentum as we speak. So that's the reason we are seeing quite good numbers of increase for DENT at the moment. And at the moment, the reason we are not seeing pretty huge decrease in the exchanges, people not holding much DENT tokens in their apps. So this number, just if 1 in 25 probably, 1 in 5 or 25 users hold just 10,000 tokens on the mobile app, that would take out 50 billion token out of the supply. But we are not seeing that happening at the moment. So that's the reason you're seeing a huge number of most of the traders are just swing trading and bringing the price of the DENT token down. So this number needs to go down. So the next version of the mobile app is getting a lot of renewed interest because you're going to see the DENT Gigastore being launched, and then you have a new reward system getting launched as well. You can see here these are the new things coming up in the upcoming months. So we will keep an eye over there and see what it goes. So coming back to the SpaceX news, so we haven't got any confirmed official partnership as for now as we speak, but it is getting good shape. So most of the telecom companies are going to get wrecked by Starlink. I would pretty much you can see now they are getting very high into the telecom sector. They are going aggressive actually at the moment. So Elon Musk is praying for the $1 trillion telecom industry at the moment. So that is pretty interesting. So now most of the telecom companies who have been making huge money in the past 10 years are going to get wrecked huge, because even if you look, the unused mobile data market is pretty huge. It's roughly around 4 to 5 billion every month. That much worth of mobile data just goes back to the unused data, go back to the telecom companies back. So they sell to other reusers, even though they charge upfront for those data plans, but users, they don't get the benefit of it. So that's where the problem is. So the huge market for unused mobile data still exists. So the next version of the DENT mobile app is going to have the option to be able to resell mobile data on their own platform. So that's a pretty good news, I would say. So let's keep an eye there and see how things turn out. And we are seeing quite a lot of renewed interest in the community as we speak at the moment. So we will be seeing this upward trend in the coming months as well. So if you look at the latest trend on Twitter, it's pretty good actually. And there's lots of people getting renewed interest for DENT as we speak. I would probably keep an eye as well, because the price could surge pretty quick at any given point of time. And if you watch the pattern of BTC, there's no signs of it going down at the moment. So that is a good sign for DENT and other altcoins in general. So I would probably hold on and see how it turns out. And you can see here, if someone asks what DENT as a company does, it's pretty much, this slide shows DENT is trying to create a marketplace for mobile data. So like what Airbnb or Amazon or eBay or Uber is doing is pretty much DENT is monetizing the mobile data industry by providing an open marketplace. So that's what we are going to get in the next version of the DENT mobile app 4.0. So stay tuned, and we might be getting lots of updates in the coming months. In Q1, we are already in the middle of close to the end of Q1 2021, and the launch of Gigastore could be any time at the moment, because that's part of the roadmap 2021 to launch Gigastore. So we are looking for a exact news for around Gigastore. So that's a pretty good news, and hold fire. That's not being that could lead to new partnerships as well, because that's going to bring lots of new businesses into the DENT's ecosystem. So stay tuned and spread the word of DENT, and we can see quite a lot of upward news coming for 2021. But hold fire, and if you haven't signed up for the mobile app, please sign up and just hold 10,000 tokens on the mobile app. That could contribute to the ecosystem and bring down the supply on the exchanges. So that's and then we are hoping to get a new renewed marketplace as well for reward system. So that's going to change the way DENT is going to incentivize the users. So stay tuned around that as well, because that we might see a huge number of people locking out the DENT tokens in the mobile app if they provide free eSIM data plans for the reward system. So that's could happen as well. We can see that coming. I could see that coming. And there's this, I want to show one more thing as well. So people get confused about the eSIM that's talked about, Starlink eSIM. So this eSIM is actually not the embedded SIM that he is talking about. So it's Earth stations in motion. So basically he is trying to launch a new equipment which allows you to embed it directly in the vehicles. So that eSIM is different from the eSIM for mobile phones. So we don't confuse that. But it's a good sign. So initially they launched for home broadband. Now they are extending it. So I can see where they are going. Now they will probably get into slowly offer their service to mobile phones as well. So that is not too far, as we can see from the trend that Starlink and SpaceX is taking. So if that has to happen, we could see a potential partnership for DENT and Starlink, because Starlink plans to provide voice over IP service as well, and they did mention in lots of tweets that they are exploring its options to do so. So possibly through a managed service provider. So voice platform capability would probably DENT already has a voice over IP service, so that partnership could lead to some sort of Starlink's own launch of voice over IP service for eSIM embedded devices. That's where DENT partnership could make sense from my point of view. So that's where I see that there is a potential chance for Elon Musk's Starlink or SpaceX to partner with DENT, because DENT already provides voice over IP service. People who have used the DENT mobile app, they already know that there is a international calling plan within the DENT app ecosystem. So that is where I am seeing quite a lot of chances for DENT to do partnership, because DENT allows voice over IP from mobile to landlines, and the Starlink users potentially only need the internet access and a mobile device. So the internet is already delivered by Starlink. This way Starlink buys the time and can roll out their voice service later. So I also think that DENT wireless voice over IP service uses less data than WhatsApp, and that's quite ideal for Starlink to partner with DENT. But we have to wait and see how it turns out, because DENT is pretty aggressive in innovating things. In the past they have been innovating a lot, so there's no companies I could think of providing a lot of products on top of their ecosystem. So DENT is pretty much pioneered in terms of disrupting the existing telcos. So stay tuned, and I would keep an eye and see how it goes out, because at the moment people who have been, we all have been using our mobile for more than 10 years. But if you look deeply, does your mobile telco provider allows you to resell your existing data plans? I don't think so they do. And that's a very good space to think about it, because most of the telcos, they never allow you consumers to sell their unused mobile data. That's pretty insane from my point of view, because that's a huge marketplace for the unused mobile data. And another question that I would ask you is, does your current telco provider allow you to share your mobile data with your friends and family? That is also not happening. I'm not seeing it. And that's another place where DENT is innovating. So there are two places, so two markets that DENT is targeting. One is unused mobile data, and the other is sharing of mobile data with friends and family. So those are the two areas that is DENT is trying to get in. And I want to address the huge circulating supply myth for DENT. So people keep asking me why DENT needs a huge 100 billion supply. So you have to look at the global prepaid subscriber market to answer that. So the global prepaid subscribers are close to 5.7 billion mobile users. So you should be able to distribute at least 10 DENT tokens each, and that would take out the whole 100 billion supply out. So that's why I keep saying in many of my videos that DENT needs the 100 billion supply just to be able to provide enough tokens for each and every mobile user in the world. So that's a key thing we need to understand. And another reason I would probably ask is they started becoming a mobile virtual network operator. So if DENT is a mobile telecom company, I would look at the total size of the market as well. So mobile data market is worth more than $1 trillion globally. That's a quite big number if you look at, and that's the reason you need to have more tokens to be able to distribute some level of even number rather than in fractions to the users. So hope that makes sense. And another thing people keep asking me is, even though where the token's value is derived. So the token's value is derived from the DENT marketplace. So DENT has a behind the scene exchange. So we all use mobile data on a daily basis, independent of whatever the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum could be. So the actual value of the token is actually determined by the DENT app users. So once the ecosystem grows big, we will see price stability for DENT. So at the moment we are not seeing it, but we have to wait a little bit more time. So if you look at other tokens like XLM, for example, because XLM is pretty much very high at the moment. So if you look at the token, so the lowest price you might be seeing in the past for XLM was roughly around 0.01. In the past I have seen XLM at 0.001. So you can see all-time low is 0.001.227. That was like 6 years ago. So it has actually taken 6 years to break this low price and hit the mid-range of 40 cents at the moment. So DENT is pretty much, you can imagine, it's a 1-year-old company as far as mobile virtual network operation is concerned. So we have to give enough time for the business to grow actually, because it will take some time for the tokens to be distributed to other users in the community, because not that many people actually know about DENT wireless at the moment as we stand. That's why you're seeing the number of token holders is just very less. It's just 42,000. But if you look at the other tokens, like I can show you, like let's look at Omisco. For example, Omisco is another very popular token traded globally, and it has a very big market cap as well. So the token holders is roughly around 690,000 token holders. 690,000 is just more than 500,000 token holders. So now you can compare yourself how much low DENT is. So there is a huge room for growth, but the price is not going to rocket or moon as people are thinking in the Twitter and other channels. It will take quite a long time. So if you have the patience, that would reward you a lot, because at the moment it's not going to, you're not going to see the price surge to 1 cent or 10 cent just like that in few months as most of them are speculating, because we have to be realistic. You need to get more token holders and more people getting to know about DENT, because at the moment a lot of people, they don't know about DENT as we stand. So that needs to change, and once that changes, you will see a lot of renewed interest coming out. So keep holding. And then you can see XRP and Tron, they all have token holders in several millions actually. So if that has to happen, that's when you will see the token going into the hands of the users, and then the traded value will be very good. So at the moment we are not seeing it. The reason is you got only 42,000 token holders. This number needs to increase drastically, and once that happens, we will see a pretty good price appreciation, because it took 6 years for XLM. You can see here, I'm not hyping here. So the lowest price for XLM was 6 years ago, and then since then you can see the price took 6 years to rise there. So if you look at the historical price of let's look at the charts, that would give a bigger picture for XLM, and we can do some analysis there. So you can see the lowest price it was in February 2017. It was 0018. XLM was stellar lumens, we can call it as stellar lumen, was in April 2017. It was at 000, pretty much the same price of DENT. You can see for yourselves. I'm not trying to make out hype here. So you can see the XLM, one of the popular tokens now, was at the same price as DENT 4 years ago, and the supply of XLM is also is around 22 billion. You can see for yourself, and that's the reason now pretty much DENT is around the same price line. So that would take a few years for DENT to get to 10 cents or even 20 cents. But I'm not saying it will not happen, but I'm saying it will take some time for that to happen, because we are still in tourism and other sectors are pretty much in lockdown. So once those things, travel and tourism and business travel starts opening up, you will see lots of movement in the DENT ecosystem. So at the moment we are not seeing is and the travel, just for these 11 countries, you can see the travelers are roughly around 328 million. Even if just 5% of those users hold 5,000 DENT tokens on the mobile app, it will take out 82 billion tokens out of the supply. So that's pretty much supply demand could happen, but we have to wait for travel and things to stabilize after the COVID-19. So hope I've give a better picture of where we are with DENT and the price. Thanks. For